Hello, fellow rosarians. Thank you for joining me today for another rose unboxing. Today we've ordered from another small business, and this is located in California, and it's Burlington Rose Nursery. Every single time I email or call, I'm speaking with Berling Leong, and she is so responsive. When you go to her website, you'll see it says website currently under construction. Please contact us for the current inventory list. And so when you email them, they send it back to you, and be warned, it is long. I mean, it is extensive. So this is at least 500 roses. And the way that I combated the list was I knew I didn't want a climber. So I marked off everything in here that was a climber. So I knew when I was going to helpmefind.com to research each one of the roses, how to narrow down that list. So hopefully that'll help you, is first look at the classification, figure out what code you are looking for to help you when you are digging in to that inventory list. So when I am looking at their website, you have two choices. You can get a band, and we've done videos on those before if you're not sure what that is, and I'll go ahead and link that for you in the previous videos that we've done. So you have the band, or you can get a 1 gallon, and bands look like they're about $18 and 1 gallon is $23. So what I'm expecting is a 1 gallon in here. You're gonna pay actual shipping. I didn't find any discounts or coupons, and it was sent through USPS Priority for the guarantee. I didn't see it on their website, so I'm kind of hoping that there's a piece of paper in here that'll let us know what their warranty is so that I can share it with you. But let's go ahead and get into the box and see what we've got. So here on the box, we've got the certificate from California saying that it is free of any pest diseases, and gives them the certificate to be able to sell nursery stock. Okay, we'll look at this in 1 second. Okay, it's wrapped in paper. It looks like it is in a bag. Looks like I have some blooms that are on here, but it may have gotten warm in shipment, because you see it's kind of weepy right here. It looks like it had a lot of nice height on it, but it is weepy. And as I mentioned, it came from California, so that was a pretty long trip. Well, it looks like it got a little bit of damage maybe in shipping. The root of the rose, it's all lifted out of the soil. Let's go ahead and at this point finish pulling it out and see what we're dealing with. It was almost completely removed from the soil through shipment. I'm not seeing any issues with the roots. These are on an own root, so this is going to be a smaller size rose than, this is fascinating. So it looks like there could be 2 different roses here. So I've got this own root here, and then I've got this one here that appears to be separate. I could separate these, and I think I might do that. I mean, at this point they're already separated anyways. But let's look at the health of the rose. The health of the rose itself, it appears to be healthy. When we unbox a rose, we're going to be looking for whether or not it got dried out. Clearly, I think it got too warm in shipment, but feeling the roots, I can tell that it's still moist. So let's look at the leaves themselves. The leaves are green with no black spot, no disease, no growth. What else are we going to look at? We can clearly, normally we can't see on a potted rose during an unboxing, the crown or the connection between the canes and the roots, but looking here, I do have that because it came out during shipment, and it's very healthy. There's nothing that's soft to indicate that there's a rot going on. So the canes look fine, the leaves look fine, the roots look fine. So this is a healthy rose. Now, typically when we unbox, we're also looking to make sure that we got the grade that we wanted. If you think back to all of the other unboxings that we've done for potted roses, this is right in there with all of the other roses Between all of the canes, I do have 3 canes. So with potted roses, you don't need to soak them in water. They go immediately into the ground, and then as long as your temperatures aren't going to be too shocking. Sometimes when you're getting a rose that's potted, you could still be having some freezing nights. So maybe you want to consider when you want to put it in the ground. It can certainly stay in that pot for some time, and if you want, you can even pot it up, that 1 gallon. And so that means that you're going to take that rose and just put it in a larger pot and then let that be its home for a few weeks or months until you find the perfect spot in the yard that you want to plant it. Okay, so let's go ahead and tell you about this rose real quick. I bought La Reine. It is rose pink with a strong fragrance, 78 petals, and the average diameter is 5 inches. You guys, this is huge. 5 inches. Let's see, it's clustered flowered. It's in cupped bloom, which I've told you I love that really large bloom that looks English, like an English rose. So I think you're gonna love this one. It blooms and flushes throughout the season, and it's rated excellent by helpmefind.com. So consider adding this rose to your garden this season. So with all of the growers that we're buying from, I'm trying to share with you lots of different choices in the event that you're ready to place an order in the fall, and so that you can weigh apples to apples. We're looking at how much it costs for each vendor, and to do that analysis, because there's some discounts that are offered if you buy more. They offer free shipping. So we're saying if I buy 10 roses from this vendor and all of the other vendors that we've done videos for, how much does it actually cost? And then we'll do a rack and stack. So looking at this vendor specifically, Burlington Rose Nursery, I got 1 gallon for $23. There were no discounts that I saw. It arrived in approximately 3 days. So if I buy 10 roses from Burlington, it'll be $230. The shipping was approximately $23 for 1 rose. So we're going to go ahead and multiply that by 5. That's what we've done with our other vendors that are selling potted roses. So if we were to take $23 shipping, and I'm going to need 5 boxes for 10 roses, that's $115. And so $230 plus $115 is $345. So let's go ahead and look at that rack and stack now. So up there in the upper range, which is where we are now, they're just a little bit more expensive than buying bare roots from David Austin, and they're just around the same range as buying a bare root from Brex. So we'll go ahead and look into doing a rack and stack just on the potted roses in our later videos. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig in here and see what they say on my invoice. Yes, it was $23 for 1 gallon. It was priority mail for $23. The total it cost me was $46 for this plant. So reading about how to plant a rose, they have a little write-up here. They're saying in the event that you buy a band size rose, you're going to pot it up. It's their preference that you take that band as soon as you see the roots coming out, that you go ahead and pot it up into a 1 gallon size. And then once it's happy in its 1 gallon size, then you can go ahead and put it in the ground or a bigger pot. We bought a potted rose versus a band, which just means it's been propagated on its own root, but it's larger than a band and a little bit older. So for bands, they're saying dig a hole, remove the rose from the container, plant it, backfill it, water it, mulch it, and check on it every so often. Put mulch on it to help retain the moisture and reduce weeds. The most interesting thing here is a note that says the best time to transplant a rose is early in the morning or late in the afternoon. And I agree with that, because it's the cooler part of the day in either one of those spectrums, and you're probably not going to have the sun beating down on you, which can be stressful. So I absolutely agree with that. And then it says to reduce transplant shock, use Miracle Grow Quick Start Fluid. Follow the directions on the bottle. I'm not sure I agree with that. I haven't read the ingredients on that bottle, but for all of my roses, I avoid Miracle Grow, and I've read a lot of forums and even talked to David Austin, and they advised that Miracle Grow would destroy the roots. It just zaps them, it's too much. And I did a video recently on how I was mulching my plants and fertilizing, and I shared with you my philosophy on how to plant your roses, and I'll give you a quick summary here right now in case you missed it. It's my philosophy that when a rose has traveled for several days without food, water, nutrients, and light, if you picture how you would feel after a week without food, nutrients, light, you're shaken, you're all out of sorts, and you don't want somebody to hand you a Red Bull, an energy drink, which is what Miracle-Gro is. You don't want somebody to hand you that and say, come on, let's go party, let's have a good time, let's go have fun. You really want to just go take a nap and relax and settle in. And so that's my philosophy with my roses, that I want them when they get to my house to settle in, get used to my native soil, and I'll use biotone in the soil, but that's it. They don't even get rose tone at that point. I wait 6 weeks and then go ahead and give them their rose tone, and that's technically their jolt. They're gonna get rose tone and they're gonna get manure. And then let's go ahead and get them started. And that's when I encourage the blooming. But I wouldn't want to encourage this rose right now when it's a mess from travel to go ahead and get started. So that's just my philosophy, and it's up to you what you decide to do in your garden. It's your choice, and maybe you have found great success with Miracle-Gro, but for me, it's just not something that I've wanted to use on my roses. So I hope this video was helpful, and it doesn't say anything about the warranty on the rose. So let's hope I don't have any problems and that I don't need to reach out. It looks healthy enough right now, so I think we'll be fine. I hope that you will like and subscribe and hit that alert button so that later this season when we're looking at this rose, you'll get a notice and you can check in and see how it's doing.